What if I told you the reason your webinar, close loss, and follow-up emails aren't working isn't because people didn't like the webinar or your product, it's because you're writing marketing emails instead of sales emails. Today, I'm breaking down a real coaching call from one of my clients in Outbound OS, where we completely rebuild his webinar follow-up sequences from scratch. And look, he had some pretty good stuff in there, good social proof, big enterprise logos, but there were a few gaps that were killing his reply rates, especially on email 2 to 3. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what changed, how to flip marketing emails into sales emails, and how you can apply this into your outreach to start booking more meetings.
You're in the groove.
That's exactly how
Been there, been a little while.
Dude, it's been really good. It's been momentum has definitely shifted on our side, so it's my boss. Everyone's just like, "What did you do?" It's just been really, really, really cool. I had the German SDR manager reached out to me, and he's like, "Hey, like, can you give me your process on how you're doing things?" He's like, "We need to record looms of your process," and like, I'm just like, "Yeah, it's been super cool." Like, dude, like honestly, thank you. Like, it's just been really, really awesome. We sourced. I don't know if we had talked about this, but I sourced Novo Nordisk, $55 billion company. Set the meeting, and we ran it. It's going. Smithfield Foods, $15 billion company. BMS, another $50 billion pharmaceutical company. Um, it's just been like,
That is insane.
yeah, dude.
After this, I need to see $150 billion valuation meetings. That is insane.
Yeah, dude, it's been crazy. On like the net news side, it's just been super cool. And then and not just me though, like some of the newer guys, they've been like listening to my process and kind of seeing how I do things. And literally one of the guys just used like my I call it quote unquote my framework, right? And
yeah.
but they know who you are. I'm like, dude, this Aaron's the one who's like been coaching me on this, or has coached me on this. And so one of the guys literally, he sourced because of the like really personalized approach of finding all the info that we need, because we've been using that GPT finder for triggers. And he found like the exact trigger. He cold called the guy, and he's like, "Hey, I saw this on this report, and was just curious how it's involving this." And anyways, he ends up setting the meeting, and it's been a ripple effect to our whole company. So it's been really cool. And yeah, my boss is like, "All right, we got to reimburse you for sure." Because I wasn't even approved on the reimbursement yet. I just did it. Like, I didn't. I just did it because I'm like, I need to do this. And so he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm seeing the benefits. So yeah, it's been super good, man. And I owe you that video. I have to make it. I don't know if you still need it, but I am 100% on board of doing that. So
No, it's
If you can, it'd be great. Just because I'm launching my website, like I've just rebuilt the website, we rebuilt in the back. A lot of stuff's going on cold call and B2B. Like I've booked 2 meetings, 2 days. Like I'm back in. I love it. It's just I'm ripping dials like back in the game. So it would help just
because like
videos is real. Instead, like it's real when someone writes something, but when you see a video, like that's what sticks. So
yeah,
if possible,
then yes, that would be
amazing. You don't have to be anything crazy. Like I can even send you the questions slow, but yeah, that would be massively helpful to me.
Yeah, send me the questions. Man, I'll definitely. I'll get it done today.
legend.
Yeah, I'll get it done today. I got some good amount of time today. So,
Well,
yeah, man.
Prospect email by accident, so ignore that. But I'll send you the questions now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. So it's been super good, and then we've been doing like conferences as well, and so they've been taking me to the conferences. And yeah, it's just been super good too, because a lot of the prospects and people that I've been reaching out to on LinkedIn and whatever, like literally people, I've been running into them at conferences, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw your message," and yeah, we absolutely need to connect. So it's just like all like coming into fruition together, and it's just been crazy. Um, super cool. So, and there's like AE talks now, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Right. It's ideal.
Because even all this stuff like this is what directly can translate to when you are when you're
Yeah.
that Salesforce pipe, like everything we're doing now will just directly work in as well. Like if your boss wants to have a call so we can see if I can get you reimbursed and extra stuff, then tell them to hit me up and then we'll go from there. That'd be cool.
Yeah, no, they're sending me the reimbursement this week, so I'm like, sweet. Only took a couple months, but yeah. I'm like, I didn't care because I'm like, you know what? I know I need this, so
Yes, sir.
Well, cool, man. I know you mentioned today as well, like part of what you wanted to talk to was cold calling. So yeah, hit me with a high level in terms of like what sounds like it's been going great, but obviously there's always room to improve. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
So what's
Fair enough.
I think the biggest thing that we, and again, as we have been testing this at Mass now with 3 SDRs, we found some very interesting, like a lot more interesting kind of data points. So number one is like, we're actually at 4 personas. So it's not 2, it's actually 4. And so so obviously there's like your director or senior manager and above, or, you know, that's kind of how we're kind of pushing it. So senior manager and above and then below.
Yeah.
And so just the differences in like, so like the whole, I don't know if you recall, but like we're doing a lot of like bloated stock type of messaging, and it just wasn't below manager. It just wasn't not relevant. What's like
Yeah.
for them, it just, they're like on the maintenance side, they're like, we don't care about that. What we care about is like making sure that we have the parts we need when we need them. We don't care what it costs or, you know, whatever. So that was some really interesting findings. Search functionality. And so we kind of went back to the drawing board to really, okay, what truly, and dude, we discovered this, and even marketing had it partially wrong. Yeah. And so it took sales to truly figure out, like, truly, like, okay, like this is not relevant, and it took an effort of testing and of getting beat up. So that was a little bit, that was a concern, because I'm like, you guys are doing all of our lead gen, right? And it's important to know this.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
And
that's
I think
startup,
as
right?
Yeah, and again, I think like, look, the more time you get to talk to these people in terms of like, okay, what's actually going on, that just helps you to like build the perspective of them what we're going to use for messaging. So I think it's ideal the fact that we've got this feedback because then we can like iterate the emails, iterate the calls. Like this is literally input, which is do the dials with the process, which is the frameworks and stuff we built, gives you the output. Then we use
Yeah.
that feedback to then iterate, and this is how we
Mhm.
constantly. This is the game of outbound. It's just a constant
Yeah.
flywheel.
Yeah.
Continuously reiterating and just tweaking and testing, and yeah, 100%. And like that's what we came up with was I'm actually gonna share a couple talk points here. Hold on, because yeah, we sat down. We've been sitting down with Jack. So Jack's our AE. Um, dude's about to close like $1 million deal. It's freaking crazy.
you'll be there soon.
But you say this in about 2 minutes, you'll be there, which is the exciting thing.
Yeah. And so here's what we kind of wrote down, and then I think what I'll need kind of bouncing the ideas is like, okay, how do I put this in a talk track so that we can drive this up the chain? And so on the maintenance side, below manager, right? So below senior manager, what we saw, the messaging that we're hypothesizing based off of like demos, based off of like listening to, and this isn't even just like, anyways, what we've heard is that their biggest thing is like they want to improve like spare parts visibility, like knowing what they have in stock, like, and like really understanding like, okay, where is this and how quickly can I get it? Like that's basically their whole idea, right? And so um like not having like what we call a reactive obsolescence process. And so, you know, to paint the picture, it's like, you know, somebody's about to get low on a specific part, right? This happens all the time. That's very critical. And then they find out it's obsolete. And so it becomes like this really weird, um, like vicious cycle, right? It becomes a vicious cycle because they end up, hey, we need to spend more to get it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Spare parts, finding policy. Okay, let me see, because we wrote down a bunch of stuff. Time-consuming search, reactive obsolescence, poor data, poor master data. That's leading to that inconsistent process, large manual efforts. Again, I'm just throwing out all these points. So I think today, as we think about calling below senior manager is where I'm struggling, because I can call once I get on the phone with the director or like senior manager and above. I think I'm pretty good at like, hey, this is a cold call. Can I get a couple minutes of your time?
Yeah.
Whatever. And then they're able to kind of point me in the right direction. The guys that I struggle with are like the actual maintenance managers, because they're like, I don't. He's like, yeah. He's like, you need to take that up to corporate. When I speak that lingo, he's like, yeah, you need to talk to the senior guy. So how?
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm struggling. And so here's how I'm thinking about it, and maybe we can like continue to spar this. So as I'm calling these below managers, I'll say, hey, John, this is Dave over at Spirit Tech. How have you been? They'll say, hey, I've been good, whatever. Hey, man, do you have a quick moment? I know I'm calling out the blue. Do you have a quick moment to chat? Typically, they say yes, right? That's kind of like my permission
Yeah,
based
yeah.
stuff.
Exactly. Yes, perfect.
And so from there is, okay, so I'll just kind of lead with a pain point. Hey, John, we've been seeing like these kind of this consistent issue within the maintenance and reliability space, specifically around storerooms, because that's what we call them, storerooms and spare parts. This is where I think I'll need help. And then we can probably go the route of, hey, have you guys been seeing this like constant issue of trying to find the right parts at the right time, or am I kind of going crazy, or like I don't know? How would you word something like that? I think that's
Yeah,
what
I
it's.
think
For sure, man. I think the key is so funny because I've literally just been doing cold calls today. So I've been doing this. I didn't book a meeting today. I had two connects, and one was a good conversation with the guy, but he was RevOps. He was like, I'm not the right person. So I said, I'm going to call the CEO, but he gave me so much input. The other guy was a founder where he's like, oh, I've just hired, I could have objection handled it better. But anyway, we're 2 for 2 dates. I'm going to call the CEO and book it. Going back to
this. What I
the biggest thing is like, you just have to understand personal incentive. That is literally the most important thing. Which is if they're saying, "Oh, that's for this other guy," it's because what you're talking to doesn't resonate to their particular day to day and tasks. So do you know when we did the
whole like persona matrix.
flow? That's what I'd be doing. I'd be like, what specifically, like, what are they doing in their day to day? If they're running about trying to find the specific parts, use that language. Be like, look, I appreciate it, Dave. Look, I talk to maintenance managers every day, and I keep hearing a few things. Now, one is that they're running about the warehouse when something breaks, you're desperately trying to find a part, and then they realize it's not even there, and then everything goes wrong. Or like, just talk to like the pain of what they're actually doing in their
role. Like,
it doesn't even have to be crazy KPIs. It can be little stuff like emotive language, like running about all day trying to find this, or they're getting told from management to just keep everything running, but they don't even have a way to figure out what parts they have. So then if something does go wrong, they get the blame. It's not even their fault. I'm just curious, does that, like, I'm not saying they're the ones to use, but like that's how I'd frame it, is like understanding what's their day to day. Just talk to their specific. If they're saying go above, it's because it doesn't resonate to them and their role. So it feels too above the line,
which means you talk
into like business outcomes and departmental outcomes instead of personal. And like the higher up you go, so if you're talking to above the line, they care about the whole department. If I'm selling to a CRO, they care about the revenue of the sales team. If I'm talking to a head of sales, they care about the AEs and the revenue there. If I'm talking to an SDR manager, they care about the reps. If I'm talking to an AE, they care about. So like as you go further down, you have to get more personal and more in the weeds with the issues. So I think instead of talking like the above the line language, it's more of like in the weeds, in the trenches. Like I know what it's like for you. That type of
language. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
That's spot on, because that's exactly. We literally just had this meeting yesterday, and that's exactly what we were saying. Like even, like again, manager below, like on that, even on our email language, like we said, we gotta simplify that down to speak at their level. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
It's literally
simplifying it, because the more imagine there's like a pyramid of like business pain versus personal pain. The further like down you come on that pyramid, the more they care about personal incentives and the more you have to talk about the day to day. So like it's like if I'm selling to like an AE to try and get a champion, I'm like, look, most of these I talk to are trying to balance deals, but then they get told to prospect from the managers, and it's just a bit of a nightmare because they can't even find valid emails. Or maybe they are getting a few valid emails, but there's no way to get numbers, so they can blast sequences that don't get replies, but they can't call. Does that resonate? That's what I'd say from like selling full enrich, right? For example.
Yeah.
Versus if I'm
talking to a CRO,
I'd be like, look, talk to CROs every single day, and I'm hearing that the team is trying to prospect, they're spending hours on it, but there's no way to find valid emails. So then the team is struggling to get to the 3 to 5x coverage because they just don't have good data. Do you get what I mean? Like it's varying degrees. You need to just talk more to like, I get you. You're in the weeds, you're in the trenches. Like I know what it's like. That's the type of shit you want to
yeah. Okay, no, that's super good. Hold on, and then we got some messaging here. Hold on, I'm gonna send it to you right here.
I want you to send me as well.
Like some of the stuff you've been using, because this is like really interesting because you are like crushing it. And I know we've gone through everything, but like I'd love to see the specifics of like your LinkedIn message or your emails and stuff, because it's funny, I'm redoing the entire course start to finish. I'm like halfway through, so I'm like halfway through cold email. But yeah, I'd love to, because I'm doing examples of like people are coaching there as well of like what good is. So you are an exemplary example. So I'd love to see some of that, and you can be
featured in live in
the course.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it'd be super cool to see that. Yeah, because it's been super cool to see that part. Yeah, I'm gonna send you. So this is a message that we an email we just finished writing up, and we're gonna just test it, right? And so here's what it sounds like, and it's gonna say literally. It doesn't really follow the tips framework, but this is what we're gonna test right now, right? And so, and it literally starts like this: Hey, first name. We know what can happen when you look at a CMMS or ERP for a spare part, right? A simple search can quickly turn into a full-blown scavenger hunt, right? Because of bad data. And the reason why, the reason why we came up with that is because we had one of the guys literally call a maintenance manager, and then he literally asked them, hey, Rick, like, let me ask you a question. When you're looking for a spare part, how long does it take you to find the right part, and if it's still usable? And the guy literally started laughing on the phone. And we've been asking this question over and over and over, and it's the same result. Everyone laughs and like says, huh, yeah, what process? They're like, what, and so it's just like the same feedback. And so that's how we kind of came up with that intro saying, hey, like, when you're looking for a part, right, kind of leading with that like pain, like how quickly does this turn into a full-blown like scavenger hunt, right? So then our messages literally just goes to SpareTech makes sure that what's in your system actually matches the part on the shelf. So downtime doesn't start with a guessing game, right? We help Nestle. Hold on, I'm gonna just send it to you right here.
And which personas?
This too, just so we're
This is going to be under
senior manager and under.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Understand.
Yeah, not
senior manager and above. Like we're using more of my approach, and so this one was like just kind of like almost. Hold on, where can I say? I'll just send it to you in this chat here.
Yeah, you said it schools.
Well, if you want, that's where I
okay. Let me send it to you.
Just because Google Chat
sucks sometimes. It like chops the thing in half, and it's like
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I just
sent it to you.
Yeah, okay, cool. Go for it.
Could have been a simple system created of bad data. What makes it? So I'll make sure that it's associated with the system. Yeah. So like, look, what I would say is, I know you've mentioned like you've seen good results so far, which is great. Like if you're hearing that, like what and you ask that question on the phone and you start laughing, I would just put that as the pain in the tips framework. Like that is the pain point, because you're talking exactly to their language, which is like, when I talk to X, they say a simple search can quickly turn into a full-blown scavenger hunt because of, or like whatever language you say on the phone. So you leave with like the trigger, like, hey, David, saw blah, blah, blah. Curious how you're finding, curious how you're checking your data to get the right parts. When I talk to senior managers, I hear that da-da-da-da-da, which means like that.
What you say on the
phone, if that's resonating and people are laughing, just directly rip that and put it into an email as the pain and cost of inaction. It's the same. Because you know that pain hits, and then move it into the
social proof, like
reduce that. Again, perfectly done. We help Nestle reduce part search time by 60% across their factories. We used to take 10 technicians. We used to take 10 minutes, now takes 4, worth a 15-minute call. Yeah, like I love the social proof. I love the solution. That's great. The one thing I would like you know how I write emails. So I'm sure I have to
tell you, but that's
what I would maybe do is like have the trigger like normal.
the implication of how
Doing this thing when I'm talking to people, I'm hearing this, which is meaning this. We helped to do this. Like that's the sort of structure. And what you can do, like the spare part, make sure you can even put that as a PS at the end. So like it's gonna look a bit weird, but I don't know. Let me try. So yeah, like your spare tech, make sure what's in the system actually matches. You do the normal tips framework and then have best regards, PS, spec, and then include the extra context of what you do there.
because then it's like the
Normal email is like paid, impacts, how you fix it, CTA, then a little bit explaining how. It's like
a PS.
Yeah. No, that's super good.
That's what you could try.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll definitely. Yeah. No. We're definitely, because again, we're just trying to, because we're like, again, at the senior level, we're getting a little bit of traction. It's just it takes longer, right, to get to that traction. And then what we're trying to do is get under, right? So like the maintenance manager level, at that level, it's like we're struggling to get traction and get like replies. Like our reply rate is just really low. So yeah, we're trying to figure that out. And so I think this will definitely help Mrs.
Yes, sir.
Turning into
more more email writing workshop, but I'm okay with that, man. It's just
emails
because it all translates.
emails exactly.
Like, and this is it. If you're hearing specific things through if you're hearing specific pains through the phone, you then use that in the copy of your emails. If you're sending stuff in emails that's not quite hitting the same go above, you change the script to the below. Like that's just that's the whole point of the persona matrix. So like just map out the core pains and impacts. So you can use that across all the different channels. There's a wedding bus outside, so apologies if you hear like a horn going crazy. I'm in Cyprus right now, so
you're good.
All the English people.
like, whoop.
Wait, where you at?
no.
Cyprus, off you from.
Where was the last Costa Rica when we spoke? Or?
Yeah, Costa Rica.
Yeah, so
In Cyprus now in Europe, so
Nice.
Dude, I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, that's super good. So like, okay, so let's say again, we'll just jog this a little bit. I'm calling a maintenance
manager, right?
So hey Aaron, it's Dave over at SpareTech. How have you been? Good, yeah, whatever. You got a quick second? Awesome. Hey Aaron, the main reason I'm giving you a call is, we're working with a lot of maintenance reliability teams. We've been hearing this same issue at every single plant. It's when you're trying to find the right part, or hold on, just curious. Again, I'm just kind of reiterating. We've been hearing this common issue around just kind of trying to find the right parts at the right time. Was curious if you guys are struggling. I don't know. How would you word that specific part of it?
Yeah, let me show you this one.
Make it a little bit easier, man. Let me show my screen. So, and I'll even show you my script, so I can show you how I do it. So I use in templates and scripts the pitch framework. So under core scripts, this one, and then get the framework. I always do it based off this, which is like identify challenges. So this is the one I always use. So like I've been speaking to X title every day, and I keep hearing the same two things come up. Now that's either this thing which leads to this, or it's this thing which leads to this. I'm curious, does that resonate, or am I just completely off base? And what you want, like when I'm saying this, so this is like my above the line sales leadership. I'm like, look, David, I talk to CROs every day, and I keep hearing the same two things. Now, one is maybe the team's doing outbound, but there's just no real process. So pipeline coverage is inconsistent, and instead of getting to 3 to 5x coverage, it's often less. So forecasting is nearly impossible. Or maybe the team's doing well, but they understand that coaching is the way to get more leverage, but the managers are just so caught up, they don't actually ever get time to develop and upskill the team to help them get past their number and overachieve. But I'm curious, does that resonate, or just completely off base?
And obviously, like
9 times out of 10, when I say this, they're all like, well, duh. Like, yeah, it does, because it's a common pain, which is what you want it to be like. Yeah, of course we have that. And then you go into
look, I know I mentioned a few
things. Just curious, out of the two, which is it for you? So like, let's write it for you, sir. Just run me through what's the pain specifically? Like what did you say when you talk to them on the phone and they always laugh? Like, what do you say to them then?
Here is what, and again, this is what another guy discovered. Hold on, where is it? I wrote it down somewhere. All right, 1 second. I'm going to Slack right now. Oh yeah, so So the question that we would ask them is, and again, this is what Reggie found. So he's like, hey, if someone asked you for a specific part right now, how long would it take you to find where it is and if it's usable, right? So if someone asks you whatever, and so that's been a big thing. And literally just people laughed. Or like when they say, what's your process? And, and it's always mixed. It's always mixed. So a lot of the times people are like, yeah, no. Like just start laughing. They're like, who the heck? Like it could be, it's almost non-existent. They would kind of reply, they could probably take forever. Kind of that deal. So that would probably be number one. And it's weird, man, because it's such a niche thing for these maintenance people. Because it's like, this is only 10% of their day, right? That we're calling about specifically, right? And then I would say, hold on, let me pull up my other doc here. And then from there, I would say then on the obsolescence side, so we can almost say like they have a reactive obsolescence process. So, and what I mean by that is when they find out a part is finally obsolete, they're scrambling, they got that scavenger hunt type of thing going on, right? Trying to find the right part online or wherever from eBay. Or that's probably the biggest thing we hear is they're trying to find the part on eBay or going over to another company called Motion to find it, and it's like super marked up or whatever. And so that's typically what they'll start kind of seeing. Jesus.
Like that.
I'd be like, look, David. Hey, David, it's Aaron calling from Spare Tech. How are you doing today? I'll copy your intro.
Fantastic. How have you been? Great.
Hey, I'm fine, Dabby Dozy as well. Thank you. Well, look, man, did you have 30 seconds just for me to tell you why I was giving you a quick call?
Sure. I got a quick minute.
Appreciate it. Oh, a minute. You're generous, David. Well, look, I talk to maintenance managers every day, and I just keep hearing the same two things in these conversations. Now, either that's if someone asks them to find a part, they'd basically be going on a scavenger hunt. Probably take hours, if not days, to actually find the part because there's no way to track and sort of manage what parts they have. Or even if they did finally find the part, it's probably going to be unusable. So they've wasted all that time. Then they have to go on eBay or Motion to get a part for 50x of its normal price. But I'm curious, David, does that resonate or am I just completely off base here?
Yeah, man. That sounds just about right.
Like that, maybe so. And again, this can be played with, but it's like that's how I'd probably do it, which is like, this is like pain plus impact because the pain is like this, probably take hours, if not days. Like be a scavenger hunt. Why is that bad? Because it's going to take hours and not days. The one thing I would say is this part, because there's no way to track have in the inventory. Maybe we could like add a KPI in like of these managers because if it's like, oh, it's going to take you all this time, which means that the time to replace is actually over 4 days. You know what I mean? Like if we had a specific KPI, then it becomes more powerful because it's like if you don't
have this thing, it's
negatively affecting your KPIs.
So I think like
again, how I'd always do it is this is my structure, which is like the problem statement like this. And then this one would be more of like an example. The one thing I'll add as well, just pop it in here, because this is like the pain, is this. I'm just going to put this up here. The pain we hear. And then I'm just going to highlight this. The one thing what I think would make this better is if you just look at the KPIs of maintenance managers, what are their specific KPIs, and then show how the scavenger hunt to find a part or how the markup would negatively affect a KPI that they're tracked on. Then it becomes more powerful because you're getting more buy-in because there's a personal incentive behind fixing it, which is literally the most important thing. That's why when I talk to you above the line, I talk about like this, which is forecasting is nearly impossible because that's a key KPI. When I talk to this, I talk about getting past the number because that's a key KPI. Versus when I'm talking to a below the line SDR manager, I'm talking about so hitting the team's meeting goal is nearly impossible, or it's
inconsistent
across the team, which means hitting the overall team's meeting per rep is nearly impossible because
of like the difference.
So again, this one is more like your team, your KPIs. This one is more the department, the big pains. Does that make sense? It's similar to
Yeah, manager where it's like,
what's in it for them? Like, why should they care? Personal incentive. We don't want them to be like, oh yeah, go talk to the senior. It has to make it so it affects them in their day to day. Like, why are they?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because like I literally kept running into the issues of, yeah, you got to take it up to the management level because or you got to take it up to corporate. I kept getting shot up, which eventually I did get shot up to corporate. And I say, hey, I spoke with whatever, and he told me to reach out to you, and then we would get in contact and set of meetings. I mean, it sometimes, right? Not all the time. Sometimes it's just an uphill battle. So yeah, no, this is super helpful. Let me pull up that Notion. Process here. Okay, now this is super good, dude. So good. This is why we need that. So, okay. I'm pulling this up. And yeah, and then above, again, like you were saying, and then above the line, it becomes
departmental.
Because as you go above the line, this is like, it's so funny. I did a YouTube video about this. Like, it's such a janky YouTube video. I'm going to show you because I think it is relevant. So I have like a YouTube, and I literally spoke about this in this video. The prospecting mistake killing replies. It's like, look at the state of it. I was doing a video like for a client, and then I was like, this actually makes sense. So I'll send it you in school. The reason I bring it up is what I go through in this is how when you're talking to below the line, you have to talk to the individual and their pain. As you go above the line, the personal pain becomes directly correlated to the department's goals. So for example,
the CRO's
personal KPI is directly correlated to the department. Same way the CEO of a business is directly correlated to the whole business because that's their thing. Like, but as you go more below the line and like down the sort of rungs of the ladder, it becomes more individual, less care about the overall department, more care about themselves because their KPIs, like an AE or an SDR, you care about the meetings you book. The SDR manager cares about the meetings the team's booked. The head of sales cares about the people under their team. The VP cares about all the managers and all their teams and all the. Do you see what I mean? Like as you go more above,
it gets like bigger,
wider.
Right.
So I think to make it resonate,
we just have to pinpoint
like what's happening in your day and your pains. That's what makes it resonate.
Yeah.
No, super good.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, it's good because you already
know like a lot of
the pain, and I think that's what could make sense.
Yeah, and then we're gonna
continue to refine that because then it becomes this, dude, like we're in such a tricky like thing because it's like if the company's not big enough, then it's not a pain. There is literally no pain.
Yeah.
And it becomes
just really weird.
Because if we call an $800 million company, it's a hit or miss. Like half the time they're like, oh yeah, we got a guy doing that. Like, we got somebody taking care of that. You call it, $10 billion company, they're like, yeah, it's a shit show. Like literally $50 billion company we got on a call, they're like, yeah, we have no process for a global initiative. They're like, it's a shit show. It's really interesting to see that. Okay, so this has been super helpful on that end. And then man, procurement. I don't even want to go into procurement because they're a pain in the ass right now. We've also discovered a new learning is like because we were shooting up the procurement side really hard, that has actually shot us in the foot. So we're shifting back to the maintenance side of the business, and we have to lead it from there. Like that's our biggest push right now because it gets in procurement, it gets stuck, and they're like, oh yeah, this is nice to have, but
in maintenance, it's like
no
must have.
Yeah, and
like
it's
this
procurement will be
involved in those deal cycles, but they may not necessarily be the initial person. Like there'll probably be a blocker if anything, because they're just like, we don't know if we need this because they can't necessarily see the value. So it's again, you'd probably get the maintenance people, build the business case with them to then be like, okay, what would procurement need to see? So then when they present it internally, it becomes a no-brainer. So I agree. I don't think it's worth prospecting to them specifically. unless it's like
more of a, because again,
if you've tried it and it's just not clicking, it's not worth it. Just double
Yeah,
down on
yeah.
the ones where it
is resonating.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah. And again, like certain folks that have like a mixture of both, like when it is MRO, because there's like a small section of procurement which is called MRO, which is our division. But it intertwines with maintenance in this really weird relationship, and depending on the company, it switches. And so, if a company's has like a centralized process, then procurement's heavily involved. If it doesn't have a super centralized process, then it's like fragmented, which is really it's weird. And then it becomes relevant. So
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like figuring out the timing
With it, that's the
main thing.
Yeah, so
we'll see how we continue to evolve that. So hold on, I'm closing out. I have a shit ton of tabs open here
on my computer.
and I need to close them down because then I get distracted. Okay, 2 tabs. That's it. All right, so this is super helpful. So I kind of want to role play with you, just so
I can kind of have
an idea. Okay, so ring ring. Hey Aaron.
Hey, who is
This
Hey, Aaron, this
This is David at Spare Tech. Have you been? I always ask that.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
I'm good.
Hey,
Yeah,
who you
how
with?
can I help?
Who you with?
Every single time. Hey man, I know I'm calling you out of the blue. Do you have a quick minute to chat? I promise I'll be brief with you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. Hey, I
I
was
was just calling you, man, because I know you're on the maintenance and reliability side of the business. I've been speaking with a lot of maintenance managers, specifically in the food and bev industry, every single day, and I just keep hearing like 2 major issues when it comes to like their storerooms and just kind of MRO. And one is like either if someone's asking for a part, it just becomes this huge scavenger hunt, and we're seeing that it's taking, accumulatively, it's taking your team's hours out of their day just to track the right parts within the storerooms, right? Or 2, once they do find the right parts, we're seeing, it's probably obsolete or discontinued, and it's getting shot back down from procurement, and now you got to go to eBay or Motion and having to pay all these, all these extra fees or whatever. Am I totally going crazy, or is this kind of resonating with what you guys are also seeing day to day?
Incredible. And
So many things you did well there. Number one, your tonality is incredible. Like how you ask it, like, hey man, like just like the little things, and as you're delivering it, it was great. And I love what you said, where you're like, I'm talking to a lot of maintenance managers every day, especially, and like you stress the especially in the food and bev industry. Lovely done. Because again, like
it's more relevant if you talk
talking to the specific industry, and I keep hearing the same 2 issues when it comes to their storerooms or MR. Again, incredible because you're teeing up the pain, and then as you went into the pain, you added things in there about it taking their team this much, and accumulatively, it's taken their team hours. It was something like that.
yeah.
whatever you worded.
Ours was just better than mine because you talk to these people, so you get like that sort of stuff. And then the second thing is like when they found the part, it's probably obsolete, or what was the other thing you said?
Discontinued.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's probably obsolete or discontinued. Then they have to go to blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
It's yours that
Was perfect because that's like if you're getting the laugh from what you were saying before, this is a way to just frame. You want it like when I called the RevOps guy, right? He was like a bit of a type A, a bit confident. He said, "Well, duh." That's like asking me if I want oxygen because I talked about like teams struggling, and I was like, "Oh yeah, man. Some people have a lot of oxygen. Some people get strangled." I used a really weird analogy, but again, like you want them to be like, "Well, yeah, of course that's happening," because then it's like, "Oh, well, you said it's happening." I know I mentioned 2. Which out of the 2 is more relevant in your world? Yeah,
we don't really have the track.
so it's probably more of that. Okay, cool. So like just run me through it. Like you don't have the tracking. So if I bring as Mr. Manager, I need you to find this part. What does that look like? We have to do this, we have to do this, we have to do this. How is that affecting X? Oh, oh yeah, it sucks because of this. Look, David, I don't want to take all day, but we actually just help this and then you just go into tailor the pitch.
And all of it is the exact.
It's literally the pitch framework. It's you present the problems, ask the questions, which is like, which out of the 2, what does that look like? What's the issue? How's that affecting this thing? Then you just
sure. Look, man,
David, I don't want to take all day, but we actually just got Nestle with a similar
thing where
again, they had this huge storeroom, no way to track anything, so it's a scavenger hunt. So what we did is implemented our tool to blah blah blah, and they actually took it down from 2 hours to find a bot to 5 minutes because they could just track it and they didn't have to pay crazy fees because they knew something was going to become obsolete. But I'm curious. I know I called you out the blue. I think that could be worth like a 15-minute chat just to see if this could be relevant. But
Literally,
pitch framework, you'll slap.
Gold. Okay.
showing out is great.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Well,
Hold on.
the hands already.
Now, let's,
We gotta write all this down. Hold on.
Okay. So
Let me-
Let me share my screen because, bro, this is literally the script in like Word. I can like freestyle it because it's just repetition, right? Like I've done it
Yeah.
so many times, and for myself, like I have done this week. Let me tell you, in the past 2 days, I don't know if I can filter for that. Past 4 days, 70 dials. Oh no, this isn't all me actually, but 'cause I have a rep doing some. But basically, past 3 days, maybe that'll be a bit better. 3 days. Yeah, like 70 dials, 16 answers, and I don't think that's right. But anyway, I've booked 2 meetings, pushing 3 with this exact flow, and it's so simple. It just works. So this is the identify challenges. Then we go into questions, right? So what we'd say after this. So this is the problem statement, and then we go on to if they say yes. So prospect, you want them to be like, yeah, duh, and then you go me. I know I mentioned a few things there, name. Just curious, out of the 2, which one seems most relevant to you right now? And then they'll tell you. All right. And then we go into questions. So obviously, let's just map your script. So you have intro.
Mhm.
So you have your intro. This is the problem statement. So this is like, again, hey name, it's David from Spare Tech. How have you been? Great. Look, I know I'm calling you out of the blue. Did you have a spare minute to chat? That's your intro. Keep that the same. Perfect. Just like chop this, you can edit it. And then we go into so this is 3, qualify cues. So then you go into, okay, I know you mentioned specific pain. Just run me through what would that look like right now? So this is like a situation. So situation, how did they currently do it? All right.
Okay. So practically, I'm asking him. Okay, we're on the phone with the maintenance manager. Hey, I know you mentioned this. Hey, I know I mentioned the scavenger hunt, but like, can you walk me through what does it look like
Right now when you're
guys are looking for these?
Yes. So
When
for
the
me,
machine
I'm like,
goes
look, I've mentioned 2 pains, and I'm like, yeah, John, it's pretty tough right now. But just curious, like, where are we at in terms of like to quote, like, what does that process look like? How are we doing? Like, you understand where they're at, so situation, and then like I asked another question to get some like deeper understanding. So I'm like, what percentage? I'd be like, okay, cool. And with that, like, how much of your team's time is being spent like just looking for parts when needed? Like, what is it quantifiable? Like, what would you say? And again, like this is sort of again, you ask another situation question, but the goal here is to get something specific that you can then leverage against them. So if they tell you, oh, it's taking this much time, that becomes ammo when you tailor the pitch to show how you can help. So again, you ask a question, and then as you can see here, then you ask like a pain question. So it's like, okay, and with you taking X amount of time to do that, how's that affecting Y? I'll let you fill that in, but this is like, okay, so now you've figured out how much time it's taken. Ask them like a trap question to see how that's affecting a key KPI or something they care about. And then you can go into, is it something? And if you could figure out a way to reduce Z, is that something you potentially be thinking about prioritizing? This one's like optional. This one's more need payoff in spin. So this is optional. You don't have to do it, but I quite like it. So the goal of this is like you ask a few questions, right? So like, look, I know you mentioned like it's taking you're on this scavenger hunt, but I'm sure you can imagine it looks different for every maintenance manager I talk to. So what does that look like specifically for you? Oh, our team has to do this. We have to do this. We have to do that. Okay, cool. And with that, like, how much time is being spent with all these different steps? Would you say like to actually find these parts? Oh, it's taking us 2 hours. Cool. And with it taking you 2 hours, like, how's that affecting how much the team can do for what? Do you get what I mean? Like, it's just, and
how much is that?
That affecting like wrench time? They call it like wrench time.
Yes. So with your team spending 10 minutes per thing, how's that affecting wrench time? Yes, exactly. So I'm going to put that there, like wrench time,
like
whatever the thing is. And then you tailor the pitch, which is this stuff. So this would be like, great. Well, David, based on what you shared, it sounds like the big thing is the team's just going on these scavenger hunts, bouncing between 10 things. So your wrench time's this much. we actually just helped Nestle take that down from this much to this much. So the wrench time was able to reduce by this. But I'm curious, does that sound interesting? And then you move into like offering the pitch.
Mm,
In fact, I'd change this like, I'd be like, do you think that could be worth a conversation when I'm not calling you completely out of the blue? That's what I say now.
mm.
Then you just move on to the next step, which is the close, which you just basically get them to say a time. I know I'm talking a lot, but this is just to give you like the exact flow of what you can
Yeah,
do.
no, this is
basically
Beautiful. This
this
is
is great.
And then you highlight next steps. 6. And we can role play this as well briefly, but next steps. And then you just get them. Oh, shit. Wrong thing. Let's go back to this. Copy this. You get them to confirm it on the call, all that jazz. But yeah, this is like
identified.
challenge. There you go. And that is pitch.
Boom. Boom.
So like you've got your opener nailed, you've got this down. Now it's just understand like how can you frame the questions to basically lead it to an outcome that is more desirable for you. That's why you frame it on wrench time and stuff like that. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, and it could be that. It could be we'll tweak it and test it and see
Yeah.
what because again I'm just gonna say I'm gonna try wrench time. I'm gonna try uptime. I'm gonna
Test
try
it. That's how we learn,
MTTR.
bro. It's like we have to
I'm
do
gonna-
shit. We have to throw it.
yeah. I'm gonna test a lot of stuff. So sweet. Okay, so let me see my off base here. Yeah. Okay, so you're in the. Let's get to the qualifying questions. So hey, Aaron, I know you mentioned a few things, and just like curious, out of the two, like which one seems most relevant to you right now?
Yeah, I think for me, man, it's the team. Like, we're just doing these, as you said, a scavenger hunt because it just takes us so much because we don't have a way to track anything.
Yeah, no, that's super interesting. And when you say like scavenger hunt on your end, like what does that look like practically?
Yeah, well, basically, we get told we need a part, so then we get like 4 members of the team because we need coverage because we've got so much in our warehouse. We send them over to the warehouse. They start looking through all this stuff. It takes like an hour for them to just get through all this stuff to find it, and then they actually get the part. They come to us, and it's just a whole long process basically.
Yeah, and by the time they actually walk all the way to the storeroom and get their cart with all their tools, like yeah, it's probably taken quite some time. And I'm just curious, Aaron, like how much time do you think like the team like is actually spending trying to find these parts like when they need it?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think if it comes up, it's probably taken us like 4 hours at a time to just get something. To be completely honest,
Okay, awesome. And let me see, hold on.
it'd be taking 4 hours.
Okay, cool. So taking you guys 4 hours of your time. Okay, so hold on, pause again. Sorry, because I got to read through these a little bit just so I can.
No, of course.
Okay, so with you. Okay. So back in the mix. Okay, so with it taking your guys like 4 hours, just kind of doing that, and you got how many techs are you guys working with? Like 10, 20 techs?
Yeah. We have 12. We have 12 right now.
Okay, so you're looking at what is that 48? I'm not the best at math, but you're looking at almost 50 hours, plus weekly, right? Just on that, and I'm just curious, like on like your mean time to repair, that's adding 50 hours. You're saying a week, right? On your mean time to repair. Just curious, like, how is it? No, hold on.
Yeah, it's you pretty much got it right. The one thing I'd say is get them to tell you, because if you
Tell them.
it's like, when a teacher tells you, or your mum tells you something,
No, I'm not doing that.
and then you come to the conclusion, you're like, shit, but you don't tell her, right? So if you're like,
Okay, well,
with you having 12 texts, that's like 48 hours a week. So I'm curious, like, what's your mean time to repair? Like, how's that doing right now?
oh my god, it's shit.
Second, like then they tell you instead of
you tell them.
Like you plant the logic for them to like tell you the answer
you want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Awesome. So Aaron, with 12 reps, taking 4 hours each, like, man, I'm just curious, like, how's that kind of trickling down to the mean time to repair, like MTTR for you guys?
Yeah, man. Honestly, it's been a bit of a nightmare. Like, our IMTTR's dropped for sure, just because as we're getting more text, the hours increase of how long it takes. It's just, it's becoming a bit it's not ideal.
Yeah, and how's that affecting like your guys' wrench time too?
Yeah, well, funny you ask. It's basically non-existent. It's just terrible. I'll be honest.
Yes, it's not the best.
Yeah. Awesome. And Aaron, like super, I know I called you to the blue, but like out of curiosity, if you could find a way to like reduce this MTTR, improve your guys' wrench time, like just to ensure that you have the right spares, like is this something like you'd potentially be thinking about prioritizing?
Yeah, man. I think look, if we could, I think it's always nice. I think that sounds like a sort of ideal place, but yeah, it's like if we could actually get there, which is like a whole nother thing, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And man, I think just based off what you're telling me, Aaron, we've been working, like I said earlier, we've been working with Nestle, Idaho and Foods, a couple of those folks, and we've really been able to nail this down with them. Like the Nestle guys reduced their search time on parts by 60%. If it was taking 2 hours, it's taking a lot less time now. And it's increasing that uptime, increasing that MTTR. Like, would that be worth a conversation for you and the team if we can help kind of deliver those results? Again, I'm just thinking out my ass right now.
Yeah, man. I think okay, if that
Could be done, then yeah.
it could be worth a chat for sure.
Sure, awesome, man. So, sweet deal. Well, let's set up something. I know I called you out of the blue here. Let's schedule time here in the next couple of weeks. How's your time looking? Either next Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think Tuesday at 3 would work pretty good for me if it works for you.
Okay, sweet deal. And then, all right, man. So I'm gonna send you and then I got an email here, aaron@aaron.com. Is that right?
Yes, sir. That's the best. That's the best.
Sweet. All right, I'm gonna send it to you right now. Let me know. I'm sending you the invite now. You should be hitting your inbox. Let me know if you got it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I say. Like, I make a joke out of it. I'm like, cool, dude. And look, do you mind just accepting it? Like, we know how calendars are. Like, it hardly shows up half the time. You okay to accept it now, real quick? Because
And then again, like when it's
confirmed, the chance of them attending is like 1,000,000,000 times higher. And then like everything else is good. And with this as well, like one thing I do is you can either ask that they have immediate questions, or a big thing you can do here is be like, do you mind if I ask you one last question before I let you go? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then you use this to ask another question that can tee you up for that call, i.e., is there anyone else you think that should be brought in on this call, i.e.,
what's your current
text that for XYZ that you can use to like tee
your AE up to like
closest. That's what
you
you
can
can
use this for as well.
yeah. I often ask like, cool, is there anyone else you think could benefit from being on this call? And if they're like, yeah, I'm like, cool, let's do it.
That would be genius. Yeah, no, that'd be super helpful because the more people we get involved, especially like they get the maintenance planner involved and all those folks, it's super cool to get those people involved. Also, side note, that's also a new persona we're kind of looking at. They're called maintenance planners. So that's a super side note, but yeah, because they deal with a lot of spare parts.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I'd frame it. So, oh shit, wrong button. But no, that's the structure, basically.
Boom! Oh, dude, this was so helpful. I'm so happy we did this. This is like,
I love this.
because again,
I've been and
I've still been setting meetings on the phone. It's just like similar-ish, but not tight like this. And this is exactly what we've been talking about. It's like we got to get this super tight. But I knew that understanding the personas, like getting the emails down right, like, and then I knew calling would come because I know I can call. I could kind of stumble through calls, but yeah, now with this is I'm excited.
It makes a big difference.
Like honestly, like this, this I think you'll
Crush it. So
action items. Use this script. Hit me up with how it goes. If you can, like, ping me the video, be helpful, but there's no rush on that. And one other thing as well, like, if I know you said your manager's like using half of this stuff, which is cool. Feel free as well on LinkedIn to like make a 3-way intro, because what I'll try to do is like sneak in some consulting where we can get your whole team in and more hours.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna
connect you with someone even better. Yeah.
So
do you know this guy named Brian Barr? He's out of Chicago. So I'll connect you with him. So Brian Barr he does some consulting and stuff too, but Brian Barr, he's basically the one who brought in the SDRs that we're working with now. He does do coaching as well, but I think that there's a place for you guys to connect somehow. And like he's like, dude, he's like, he saw like my email writing and stuff like that. I was like, hey, I hired a consultant to help me with this and like a coach. And he's like, okay, this is super cool. I'll reach out to him today. I think that there is some, because again, like he goes into companies and does like full on like SDR placements, SDR manager placements, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think if
there's a way to like
you guys to figure out how to work
Ideal
together,
situation.
yeah, like
this is I think this would be gold, because if you're able to teach this to a new SDR dude coming in, like holy crap. And so I think that because the guy that they have now, like the SDR manager interim that helps the guys, like he sucks. Like he's just not the best.
like
I'll
help.
write emails and I'm like, dude, like you just put this in ChatGPT, like whatever. So anyways, I'm gonna talk to Brian and I'm gonna be like, I think you guys should connect
And have a call and see
what it can look like. I don't know what that can look like, but I know that there's something there. Maybe he can, I don't know, maybe give you the introduction to former client. I don't know what it can look like, but it can definitely be good, because Brian, again, he's tied up with like big level stuff, like big placements, big things like that. So anyways, I'll make the intro and I think it'll be a good connect to have. And then I will talk
to my
CEO. I'll see his, and I'll be totally candid, dude. Like we hired at the name of the company is called Victory Lab. We hired Victory Lab to bring in the SDRs, and they're supposed to do the coaching too. And so again, Brian is freaking awesome and fantastic. Now the SDR manager guy, he's okay. But yeah, we'll see. So
cool. Yeah,
I really appreciate that. Yeah, genuinely, like as many, talking to people is massive. Especially one of my friends, he's called Isaiah Crossman. He's really cool. Former CRO at Tropic. He does similar now, where he had a consulting business. He was like, okay, I was charging 500 an hour. I can't get any more clients. He was spending like 50K a month. So he's pivoted into a company called Repeatability, where he does similar. Like they hire reps, train reps, manage reps, do all that good stuff. So yeah, man, as many intros is always good. So if you need anything from me, ping me, let me know. But really appreciate it, man. I've enjoyed this.
Thank you. Yeah, look forward to seeing you.
Good. Let me know in school. Then we'll catch
all
up.
right, bro. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Speak soon, man.
Bye-bye. So yeah, that's basically it. It's pretty simple. You need to stop writing marketing emails and start writing sales emails. Lead with pain, show the cost of inaction, then introduce your solution as the bridge to get them from where they are to where they want to go. And remember, one email should only have one pain and one cost of inaction. More truly isn't better when we're doing cold outbound. You don't have to cover everything in one email because you'll end up saying nothing, right? But look, if you're struggling to book meetings consistently through emails, calls, or even LinkedIn, we're going to guarantee that we'll help you book at least 50% more meetings in the next 60 days using our program Outbound OS. Now, this only works if you're an SDR, BDR, AE selling some sort of software, technology, or SaaS. But if we don't get you there, we just give you a refund and work with you for free until you get there. So if you want to see how the program works and how we can build this for your ICP, your persona, and your industry nuances, we've done this for every industry from cyber all the way to MarTech. Book a call below and we'll walk you through exactly how we do it step by step and how you can implement the systems that we've built into your day-to-day to start booking more meetings and finally making more commission. But either way, hope this video has helped, and let me know in the comments what you think of these follow-up emails and how you'd approach it any different.